Hello there. In this video, we will show you how to design a sample process that includes email operations with Robusta RPA tool step by step. In our process, we will first connect to an email account and search for unread emails with a specific subject and an attached file. In the next step, we will forward each matching email which meets certain condition to another email account. For the emails which do not meet the condition, we will reply to the sender that the request is invalid. We started our process first by using the IMAP SMTP connection activity under the mail section to connect to the email account. Just drag and drop the activities you want to add to the process flow into the design area as I have just shown you. While SMTP protocol is used for sending email, IMAP protocol is used for email reading. The configuration of both protocols is provided at this component to be able to perform email operations. You can easily learn the parameter values for this component from the website of the email account provider. Since we will connect to the Gmail account, we get this information and other necessary configurations from the relevant page of Google. This table contains information about how to set the parameters. According to the information here, we filled the relevant fields in the IMAP SMTP connection activity. We also entered the user email that we want to connect to in IMAP user and SMTP user fields. Then, in the dataObject field, which allows us to define a variable and use it in any activity in the process, we defined a variable named password and used it in the password fields. We need to write the variable name between curly braces after a $sign. After the connection is done, we found the date 3 days before today, which we want to use as the minimum date in mail search activity, with the script task activity. We used the JavaScript to find the date. You can see the script to find the date of 3 days ago in the script area. Here, we first assign the current date to the variable 3 days ago with the new date function. The current date that we assigned came in the form of year, month, day with hyphen between them. Then we updated this variable that we created to be the date of 3 days ago. After this step, we converted this variable to string format with toLocaleDateString function. From this string, we took the year, month, day values that we had separated with the split method and concatenated them with adding a dot between them. Finally, we saved this variable with the execution.setVariable function to use it as a minimum date in our next step, the search activity. The min date variable here will be used to find emails less than 3 days old. Again, we wrote the variable name between curly braces after a $sign, which is the standard way referring to a variable. After this step, we used the search activity under the mail section, and in the connection name field, we selected the connection reference name that we defined in the first activity from the list. Then, we found the emails with the subject containing the phrase flight routes and containing an attached file. For this, we wrote flight routes in the subject field and ticked the Has attachment box. We did not change the default value of inbox in the folder name field, as we want the relevant search to be in the inbox. Then, by selecting the unread box, we searched for unread emails, and we defined a variable in the dataset field to assign the all emails data to a dataset. In this example, we set the email limit to be searched as 10. This means that even if there are more than 10 emails matching the search criteria, only the 10 most recent emails will be imported into the dataset. In this example, we left the from parameter blank, where we can choose from whom the email came from. Now, I want to open an Excel file that contains the data of the dataset resulting from this activity and show you which information we received via email. As you see, we get various information such as subject, sender's email, mail body, date sent. After the search activity, we found the number of emails transferred to the dataset and assigned the result to a variable. Since we want the rows of the dataset to be counted here, we chose the row option in the size type field from the list. Then, the process is terminated if no emails is found, and the process continues if there is at least one email. To do this, we used a gateway that allowed us to control how a process flows according to the conditions we set. For each arrow leaving the gateway we set a condition expression according to the email count variable. If the value of this variable is 0, we ended the process flow. Otherwise, we chose the default flow option, and we did not set any condition expression. The process will continue from here if it does not match a condition. If the process does not end at this point, the process continues with a loop activity, since the operations will be done independently for each email. We included the sub-process activity from the structure section to create a loop activity in the process. As in our main process, we need to create a flow with a beginning and end event in this sub-process. We need to define how many times this sub-process will be repeated in the cardinality field, and if we do not make this definition, the sub-process will run once. In this example, since we want to loop as many as the number of matching emails, we wrote the variable that holds the number of emails in the cardinality field in curly brackets. We chose the value of the multi-instance type field as sequential because we want each operation to be done sequentially in our loop. When we make the definitions, the loop counter variable is automatically defined at the beginning of the loop. This variable, which first takes a value of 0, increases by 1 at each iteration. When the value of the loop counter variable reaches the cardinality value, the loop is automatically terminated. In the loop, we first ensured that the email we are processing with the read save attachment activity is marked as read, the attached files list are transferred to a dataset, and the files attached are downloaded to the desired directory for archiving purposes. In this activity, after selecting the test conconnection name from the list in the connection name field, we wrote the loop counter variable in the email number field, which indicates current iteration number. In this way, we ensured that emails are processed one by one. Since we want to archive the attached files, we checked the Save Attachments box and enter the directory path where we want the files to be saved in the Save Path field. By selecting the Mark as Read option, we ensured that the emails are marked as read. Thus, when the process runs again, we will not be processing the same emails again and again. Finally, we imported the list of attached files into a dataset. In this step, similar to the use of the getSize activity that we explained in the first parts of the process, we have found the row number of the dataset to which the list of the attached files is transferred. After finding the number of attached files, we added another gateway to the process as we want to perform a different operation if there is more than one attached file, and a different operation if there is only one file. If there are more than one attached file, the flow continues with reply activity, and the message cannot process more than one attached file is returned as a response to the sender. In this activity, after selecting the test conconnection from the list in the connection name field, we wrote the loop counter variable in the mail no field to respond to the email in progress. Later, we chose the isHTML box because our email body is in HTML format. At the same time, we have selected the reply all option by ticking the reply all box. If there is one file attached, the email is forwarded to another email address with the forward activity. In this activity, the from and to email addresses, email no, subject, and message fields are defined. We completed our sub-process flow with an end event. Then we used another end event to terminate the main process. Now let's run our process by clicking the Run button. Since the activities used in this process work at the backend, we do not see any action on the screen. As seen on this screen, Our process is completed successfully. You can follow the steps of the process and information about the variables in the process on this screen. As a result, the attachments are downloaded to the specified folder and the email is successfully forwarded to our email account. We came to the end of our how-to. I hope it was useful for you.